What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Total Takedown for UFC 322, and we've got a special guest here. Sorry, I'm doing things a little bit differently today, and Bo wants to be part of the show, apparently. What's up, buddy? Come on, you're going to help me pick some totals here. All right, let's go over the board, you guys. As you know, on this show, we talk overs and unders. We're trying to find a different angle for you guys to make some cash on the weekend, and so we're looking for some of our favorite totals to lay it down. First fight of the night, we've got Vyacheslav Borshov, and he takes on Mateus Camilo. I kind of like this under 2.5, you guys. We got minus 165 on an under 2.5. And we know that Vyacheslav Borshov, the way that you beat this guy is you take him down, you submit him. Both the people really don't need to be seeing you that close. I apologize. The camera setup is on the fritz, you guys. So we're just going to have to deal with it for this 1 week. And Bo seems to want to be the star of the show here. So we know Slava can be taken down, right? Mateus Camilo is a guy we know can go to the grappling. We know he's got some offense that way. And Vyacheslav, when you end up getting stuck with this guy on the feet, he is an absolute handful. We know he can go to war with anybody out there. He's got accurate, precise hands. And we've seen Camilo taken out already. In his first UFC fight, he did get submitted, mind you, and it was on short notice. We also know the guy can bang, and Slava has been showing some chin issues. I think there is potential for both these guys to finish the fight. So at minus 165 on an under 2.5, I actually think that's pretty nice. Now, the rest of these couple of fights, I'll be honest with you guys, the numbers aren't great for the totals. I'm not seeing a whole lot that I like. We got to skip a little bit down the card here and get our way to Roman Kopylov and Gregory Rodriguez. Over 1.5 minus 165 for Kopylov and Rodriguez. I know that might sound a little bit crazy. Gregory has serious pop in his hands. We know Kopylov's kicks are extremely effective. We know Gregory could take this fight down to the mat if he wanted to, frankly, if I thought he was intelligent enough to do that and didn't just stand and bang on this one. I think he should be an even bigger favorite in this spot than he is, because that would be a very easy path to victory for him. He just never does it. This is a grappler who has fallen in love with his hands. And because of that, I think we're going to get mostly a striking match. So I expect this fight to take place on the feet. And if that's the case, Kopylov, while he can be had on the feet, I don't think it's going to be something that's over quickly. I think we get up and over that 1.5. Bo Nickel and Rodolfo Vieira up next. We got a 2.5 total, and I'm a little bit surprised by this number. I'll be honest with you guys. This almost feels trappy to me here. Over 2.5 sitting at minus 155. I don't know how this fight finishes. You've got Bo Nickel, who I don't think is submitting Rodolfo Vieira. Now, I threw out the idea on my Monday show of him wearing out Rodolfo with the grappling and then being able to TKO him. But we saw what this guy did with Paul Craig. He wanted nothing to do with the grappling against a big-time submission artist. What did he do? He boxed his way to a decision victory. I think that's probably the path to victory here. Now, obviously, Vieira can probably get some submission threat going on the mat, so it's totally possible for him to end the fight. But if he doesn't, we've seen Rodolfo go to decision a couple of times recently too. I think this over 2.5 is a cheap number. And like I said, it almost feels a little trappy with how cheap it is. Sean Brady and Michael Morales is the next total I want to bring to your attention. We got a 2.5 here. I kind of like the under at plus 120. I think both guys have big time finishing upside, right? The one time we saw Sean Brady stuck on the feet, he ends up getting TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad. That's not a great look, you guys. It's really not a great look. As much as I love Bilal, he's really not knocking anybody out. So that's tough. Now, on the ground, obviously, we know how dangerous Sean Brady is. Michael Morales, I think, is still a bit of an unknown. If this kid gets taken down, if he gets his back taken, can he survive somebody like Sean Brady sitting on his back? I am not entirely certain. He's gone to decision with guys who are built tough, like Jake Matthews, Max Griffin. But when he has somebody who he can clip, Gilbert Burns, Neil Magny, these guys go down and they go down like a pile of potatoes. So I do think there's some finishing upside on both sides of that fight. The co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko and Zhang Weili. I only mentioned this one not because the number's good or anything like that, but I think we're destined for an over here. I've got a hard time believing that either of these women can finish the other. Valentina Shevchenko can hit that crucifix position. I think we got an opportunity for her to be a little bigger, a little stronger, get on top of Zhang, pound her out. I do think that's totally possible. And maybe Zhang is quick enough and fast enough with her hands. She might be able to do some damage on Valentina, but this is such a high level fight. Both these women are so tough and so durable. I just really honestly have a hard time seeing it. So I'm expecting this one to go the full 25 minutes. And then in your main event, you guys, Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev, I don't think this fight finishes early. So Islam is going to be hitting takedowns early, and we're going to have to just kind of take it from there, right? Jack Della's whole thing is cardio boxing, rip the body, extend the fight. take over the deeper it goes. Now, the one time Islam lost a fight, it was by knockout. So I do think there is some Jack Della KO opportunities here, but I don't think they're going to come early. I think they'll come late when Islam starts to get a little tired, starts to get a little worn down, starts to get a little bit flustered. That's when Jack can start to use his hands, wear on the gas tank, knock Islam out. Similarly, Islam could theoretically submit Jack Della, but he's a decent bit smaller than I expected him to be coming up the weight class. Jack still has the size advantage. We've seen that Darce choke. We know Jack ends up in it sometimes. We know Jack likes to put himself on bottom by pulling guillotine from time to time. So it's totally possible that he gets a sub here. But I kind of tend to think this fight goes late, you guys. I kind of think Jack working with Volkanovski. The last couple of fights, we've seen his footwork improve to avoid a lot of these takedowns. I was really critical of Bilal of not grappling early, but he was very difficult to find in the cage because Jack worked on his footwork and his movement. That's how you get footment, by the way. And that really made it difficult for Bilal to get his grappling game going. Now, once he got the game going, it did start to work. I think there's a chance for something like that to happen here as well. It might take a little bit longer. Islam's takedowns might take a little bit longer to set up. Both guys might be thinking we drag this fight a little bit deep. So because of that, I'm not expecting an early finish. I think we get a tactical match. I think this goes up and over that 3.5 with an opportunity potentially of a late finish on both sides of the table. But not before we get into those championship rounds. So I'm expecting the over 3.5, you guys, and at -5, I think that's a fair price. That is the total takedown, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of minutes for Clint's hot props. Do me a favor, hit the like button, get subscribed, and Bo says hello.